everyone, this is chapter 6, Understanding Our Criminal Justice System, Class 8, Polity, NCRT. When we see someone violating the law, we immediately think of information informing the police. You might have seen either in real life or in movie. Police officers filing reports and arresting person because the role played by the police in arresting person. We often get confused and think that it is the police who decide whether a person is guilty or not. This, however, is a far from true. After a person is arrested, it is a code of law that decides whether the accused person is guilty or not. According to the Constitution, very individually charged of a crime has to be given in a fair trial. Do you know what it means to get a fair trial? Have you heard of an FIR? Or do you know who a public prosecutor is? In this chapter, we use a fictional case of theft to try to highlighting the process as well as the role of different individuals in the criminal justice system. Most cases go through a process that is similar to the one discussed in our fictional case. Therefore, understanding these processes as well as the role that a different person should play within the criminal justice system is crucial so that if ever the occasion should arise, you are aware of the process that should be followed. I plead not guilty and I claim trial. At their apartment in Mumbai, Mrs. Shinde is getting dust. She has been frantically searching for her gold chain for over an hour. I'm sure it was in the drawer. Where could it be? Hurry up, we are going to be late for the wedding. I can't find my gold chain. It's not in the drawer. I suspect that Shanti might have stolen it. She always spends a long time dusting my room. Shanti Hambram has been working in the house for past 3 years. Shanti, have you begin to steal now? And that too, my gold chain. Bring your trunk. I want to search it. We have called the police, so if you have the chain, return it now. Madam, I haven't stolen it. Mr. Shinde, search Shanti is trunk and finds an envelope within 10,000 in it. He screams at Shanti, is saying that this is the money she got from selling the chain. Uh, Saab, my brother and I have been saving this money over the last 1 year. We want to buy a bull when we go to our village. Madam, I am innocent. Mr. Shinde has come to the police station. I have come to file an FIR. There has been a theft in my house. My maid Shanti has stolen my wife's necklace. Yes. Sub Inspector S.I. Rao records Mr. Shinde's FIR. Mr. Shinde returns with Sub Inspector Rao. I will now write the statement that Mr. and Mrs. Shinde make about this theft. Let me seal the envelope that has the money and take it with me as evidence. I am arresting Shanti and taking her to the police station. People, please don't let him take me. I have not stolen the chain. This is my hard-earned money. Sushil, Shanti's brother, arrives and pleads with SI Rao to release Shanti. She has been arrested for the theft of a gold chain. You can go to court and get a bail order. But where will I get the money to hire a lawyer? And who will stand as surety for her? You have taken all of us our saving and sealed it. SI Rao forcibly keeps Sushil in the police station for 2 days. Sushil is abused and beaten by SI Rao and other police constable. They try to make him confess that he and his sister Shanti had a gang of domestic servants that have stolen jewelry from other homes. There have been other complaints of theft of jewelry from Shinde's neighborhood. As Sushil keeps repeating that he is innocent factory worker, the police let him go after 2 days. Although the court granted bail to Shanti after a month,
She was unable to get anyone to stand surely for her for rate 20,000. She therefore continued to be in jail. She is very traumatized. She is worried about what will happen during the trial. What will happen to me? I haven't done anything wrong and yet I am behind bars just because madam suspect me, and the money that we have been saving, will I ever get it back? The police files sheet in magistrate court. The court gave a copy of the charge sheet including statement of witness to Shanti. Shanti tells the court that she has no lawyer to defend her against this false case of theft. The magistrates appoint advocate Kamla Roy as Shanti's defense lawyer as the government expense. According to Article 22 of the Constitution, even person has a fundamental rights to be defended by a lawyer. Article 39A of the Constitution places a duty upon the state to provide a lawyer to any citizens who is unable to engage one due to the poverty of the disability. Advocate Kamla Roy meets Shanti in the court. Here is my case paper. I have been falsely accused of stealing my employer's gold chain. They found red 10,000 in Shanti's trunk and said that this was the money she got from stealing the chain, but that is money that we have been saving up together. The court frames a charge of the theft of Mr. Shinde's gold chain and possession of money 10,000 got from selling stolen property against Shanti. I plead not guilty and I claim trial. The public prosecutor appears in the case on behalf of the state. He presents Mr. and Mrs. Shinde as a key witness. So tell me, Mr. Shinde, how did the gold chain go missing? Um, I had kept my chain in the drawer. Shanti stole it. No other outsider except Shanti goes into my room. Mr. Shinde searched her trunk in front of me, and we were shocked to find 10,000 in an envelope. Shanti got this money from selling my gold chain. She is a thief. Next, Advocate Roy Cross examines the prosecution's witness, Mr. Shinde. So, what you are basically saying is that you did not see Shanti steal the chain, nor did you recover the chain on Shanti. Also, in the 3 years that she had worked for you, nothing has been stolen from the house. You were also regularly paying her red 1,000 as salary each month. Advocate Roy examines Sushil and his employer and defense witness. Through their testimonies, she is able to show that the 10,000 found in Shanti's trunk could well be earnings of Sushil and Shanti. As the trial is nearing completion, Sushil learns that Inspector Sharma has busted a gang of young men who have been stealing jewelry from the Shinde's neighborhood. Some of Mr. Shinde's son friends are part of this gang. Mr. Shinde's chain has been found on them. Sushil tell Advocate Roy about this. Advocate Rao now can Inspector Sharma as a defense witness. Inspector Sharma, can you show and tell us what you have found? Here is a chain that has been identified by Mrs. Sinde as hers. We busted a gang of boys who had stolen the chain. These boys have admitted that they stole the chain. The judge hears the testimony of all witnesses. After that testimony of Inspector Sharma, Advocate Royce argues before the judge that it is now been established that Shanti is innocent and should be acquitted. Shanti, you are hereby acquitted of the charge of theft. The police will hand over to you 10,000 that they had sealed. In my written judgment, I have made it a point to highlight SI Roy's role is conducting such a shoddy investigation that made you spend time in jail. From the above incident, you can see that the four key players in the criminal justice system are police, the public prosecutor, and the defense lawyer, and the judge. You have seen the roles each of them played in the above case. Now, let us try to understand their roles more generally. What is the role of the police in investigating a crime? One important function of the police is to investigate any complaint about the commissions of a crime. And investigation includes recording a statement of witness and collecting different kinds of evidence. On the basis of the investigation, the police are required to form an opinion. If the police think that the evidence point to the guilt of the accused person, then they file a charge sheet in the court. As stated that at the beginning of this chapter, it is not to the job of the police to decide whether a person is guilty or innocent. That is for the judge to decide. You read in Unit 2 about the role of law, which means that everyone is subject to the law of land. This includes the police. Therefore, police investigations always have to be conducted in accordance with law and with full respect for human rights. The Supreme Court had laid down guidelines that the people must follow at the time of arrest, detention, and interrogation. The police are not allowed to torture or beat to suit anyone during investigation. They cannot inflict any of punishment on a person even for petty offense. Article 22 of the Constitution and criminal law guarantee to every arrested person of the following fundamental rights: the right to be informed at the time of arrest of the office for the which the person is being arrested, the right to be presented before a magistrate within 24 hours of arrest, right not to be bail ill treated or tortured during arrest or in custody. Confessions made in police custody cannot be used as evidence against the accused. A boy under 15 years of age and women cannot be mm, called to the police station only for questioning. The Supreme Court of India has laid down specific requirements and produces that the police and other agencies have to follow for the arrest, detention, and interrogation of any person. These are known as the DK Basu guidelines, and some of these include the police officials who carry out the arrest of or interrogation should wear clear, accurate, and visible identification and name tags with their destinations. A memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of the arrest and should include the time and date of arrest. It should also be attested by at least one witness who could include a family member or the person arrested. The arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested. The person arrested, detained, or being interrogated has a right to inform a relative, friend, or well wisher. When a friend or relative leaves outside the district, the time, place of arrest, and venue of custody must be notified by the police within 8 to 12 hours after arrest. Now let us return to the story of Shanti and answer the following question. When Shanti was arrested for theft, SI Rao also kept the brother Sushil in the police lockup for 2 days. Was it legal for the police to detain him? Does it violate the DK Basu's guidelines? Did SI Rao do enough to question witnesses and compile evidence before arresting Shanti and filing a case against her? Is keeping with the duties of the police as stated above. What else do you think SI Rao could have done as part of his investigation? Now, let us take a slightly different scenario. Shanti and her brother Sushil go to the police station to complain that Mr. Shinde, 20 years old son, had stole that 15,000 that they had been saving up. Do you think that the officer in charge of the police station will promptly lodge an FIR? List a few factors that, in your opinion, may influence the decision of the police to register or not register an FIR. Thank you.